Thank you, Madam Chair. Secretary Foxx, I do share your concerns in your statement today that people outside the Beltway desperately want us to find a way to work together here in Washington and fix the serious transportation issues we have in America. In northern states like Montana, where our construction season is short, we need to get some certainty, and we can't begin these much-needed projects in Montana without another short-term highway funding extension. So you have my commitment, I think you have everybody on this Daines commitment, that we're going to work hard in the Senate to get a long-term funding bill through the U.S. Senate. The last time we met was at the Senate Commerce Committee. It's been about 6 weeks ago. We discussed the challenges I know you're facing regarding the multiple vacancies in key agencies, and you said there's an awful lot of work underway to move forward in some of these key roles. I think at that time there were 5 major operating agencies in the DOT that had acting administrators. My question is, what is the disconnect here, and why hasn't the administration nominated anyone for these positions?
Well, there is, having been through the process, it takes a while from the time someone agrees to do the job. There's a vetting process. There's a very extensive process that is involved in this. What I can tell you is that we do have one of those 5 pending vacancies in front of Congress today, which is the Federal Transit Administration. And we'd be delighted to have Congress take up that confirmation as soon as possible. The other 4 are in some stage of process, and my hope is that that moves along apace and we are able to get those up soon.
Yeah, we're looking at the website here today. I know Mr. Naidu with the FHA is listed as an acting administrator. Is he still in an acting role?
He's actually now deputy administrator again because of the length of time.
We have that Federal Vacancies and Reform Act, I believe. Once you hit that 210 days, exactly, then he moves to deputy. Is that the way it works?
That's correct.
Sounds like a loophole in the rule a little bit there in terms of the push there to try to get it filled, which, I share your pain on that. I can't imagine running an organization with having these open headcounts in these very, very key positions. Let me turn and shift to PHMSA. And you mentioned the pipeline spill in Montana that we saw happen on the Yellowstone River. We had some 30,000 gallons of crude dump into the Yellowstone. The Yellowstone is a tremendous fishery. It's the water source for many communities in Montana. I've spent a lot of hours in a McKinsey boat fishing on that river. The PHMSA acting admin's term expires on May 2nd. And Mr. Butters, in fact, came up to Montana, your deputy, had a great meeting with him. He witnessed, actually, when we pulled up that broken pipe, we saw that's a 1955 pipe that had a well that looks like that probably failed on it. Could you help explain the interim plan for the next acting administrator? Because on May 2nd, I believe, in PHMSA, we're going to hit that same 210-day threshold. What's the plan going forward?
Well, the plan is currently that Mr. Butters will continue to serve as the leader of the organization until a nomination is put forward and a confirmation vote by the Senate. And my hope is that that nomination will be imminent and that you will have an opportunity to help us put a leader in place of that agency.
You said you had one, I think, of the 5 positions filled in this long, arduous process. What's the plan right now for the other 4 to get these positions filled as soon as possible?
Well, as I said in the Commerce hearing, we have been working very closely with the White House on these issues, and of course the prerogative is ultimately the President's to put up a nomination, and my belief is that the positions that you're talking about, all 4 of the other positions, are in some stage of the process, and at the President's time in choosing, those nominations will be made.
Do you know why it's taking so much time? I mean, there's got to be some very qualified people here in this country, and we're dealing with pipelines breaking, rail car challenges. Yeah. I can't think of anything more important to make sure we have the right leadership here filling these positions. If I was looking at my to-do list every day in terms of the threats to safety for people as well as challenges for our environment, why isn't more being done there?
Well, look, I don't think it's a matter of effort. Frankly, having observed this process for quite a while, I think there are a fair number of very qualified people who look at what one has to go through this process, including having months on end of a pending nomination, that they at some point say, hey, it's okay, I can do whatever else I'm doing, and serving the public will have to come later. So I think that there is, I can't overstate how challenging it becomes when people give of their time and out of private sector lives or whatever else they're doing to invest in moving forward into a government position, and in some cases spend months, in some cases more than a year, waiting for a nomination.
Yeah, it's one more part of the uncertainty that this city puts in front of as a barrier, I think, to moving forward here on many issues. Well, my time's out, Secretary Foxx. Thank you.
Just know this: I'm moving as quickly as we can, and we look forward to getting those nominations up to you.
Thank you, Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Senator.